Well met, guys, and welcome back again to eGTV Hearthstone League. That's the eHL Season 1, Cycle number 2, and we have Group B today. We did witness the match of Nyx versus Celedor just now, and Celedor took that with a 2-0 victory there, so pretty convincing victory for him on his part. And in this series, we're going to have MrOpium versus Celedor, so, seems like Philippines is being pretty strong so far in this competition here for cycle number 2 as compared to cycle 1 where Singaporeans were basically steamrolling every single competition in their way. So whether or not Celedor wins this one, only time can tell. But yeah, my name is Larc and I'm joined here today with Chris. Chris, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing great, and I love the first set that we saw earlier, and unfortunately for Nyx, he didn't manage to pull through. And Celedor, he definitely had a pretty solid game plan, and of course in the very last game that we saw, that Defender of Argus definitely made a huge difference. And I don't think he has a need to switch up decks. He could just go ahead and use that Druid and see how far he can take the limits of the deck too.
For sure. Anyways, it seems like we're gonna be jumping into the first game here of this best out of 3 series of MrOpium versus Celedor. What do you think their decks are gonna be here for the starting lineup?
I think Celedor should definitely stick to the Druid, so yeah, that's gonna be the case. And actually for MrOpium's gonna start for the Paladin deck, and that's a pretty... I have no idea. I think with the changes to Take Master, it's not exactly the best deck to have now, but you could definitely work around it.
Yep, for sure. And it's kind of interesting to see that he actually runs 2 Venture Co mercenaries in that Paladin deck of his. So seems like he probably doesn't have the cards he really needs, so can't really blame him on that part. So anyways, we're gonna jump right into this game anyways, and we're gonna jump into this right off the bat. It is now MrOpium versus Celedor. Again, for you guys who are just joining in, this is eGTV Hearthstone League Season 1, Cycle 2, Group B here, and well, we're well underway, and it's gonna be Druid versus the Paladin, and look at this, starting already, really nothing much to play on turn 1 right now for both these players.
And I'm actually surprised now that MrOpium actually fielded the Paladin deck. And I'm looking at the deck list, he actually has 2 of those Acidic Swarm Ooze. And it's not going to be exactly value against Celedor, who doesn't have any weapons at all. So
That is
I wonder what's the... Yeah, so I wonder what's the game plan here, but he's going to go ahead and drop the Ooze down. That's going to be the play for MrOpium here. And of course it's, well, not exactly immune to the hero power, but it's going to block up the hero power at least.
Yeah, but he's gonna go ahead and coin out a Harvest Golem, so that's definitely gonna come back alive when it gets killed here. MrOpium doesn't really have a play. I guess he could just... Oh, he gets the Elder Peacekeeper there. Do you think he should just play his Loot Hoarder?
Well, he calls up the... Yeah, but he's gonna get his board cleared though. So he might even go for hero power, but yeah, just like you mentioned, I think he's gonna go ahead and play the Loot Hoarder, but it's gonna get cleared out by the hero power though.
Yeah, he I guess he just wants some card draw, seems, or he's thinking about it.
Yeah, thinking about it. Good choice. Actually, you wanna make sure that you go through the consideration though. So he's gonna go ahead to get the card draw in, and it's actually going straight for the face. Is he? Yeah, it's gonna go for the face. Yeah, he's gonna go for it.
At least this way it forces Celedor to have to trade with the 3-2. But that could have been dangerous because if you had things like Claw or even, what do you call this, a Wrath, he could have dealt with that, but I don't think he really wants to use a Wrath on that target there. Well, anyways, he does get a card draw at least for MrOpium, that is, and Celedor has a 2-1 minion on the board, so that's still very good. And if MrOpium... do you think he should just even hero power and bubble that one?
Well, he might actually want to do that.
Yeah, he's actually
but
gonna
let's
do
see. Yeah, so putting the threat on the board, and there's no way that Celedor is going to be able to clear that out. Unless he goes for the play here, but actually he's going to go straight up, and I think that's a pretty good play. So making full maximum value with the Harvest Golem.
Now, do you think he should? Okay, what do you think is his next play? Do you think he should, just throw down the Irving Farseer? Do you think he should attack into it?
I think the Farseer is a pretty decent play. There's no exact way that MrOpium is going to be able to clear it, but we have to keep in mind though, there's a Blessing of Kings sitting in his hand, and he could definitely buff up that dude there.
I think he's gonna do it. Yep. There we go. That's now a 5/5, and it's probably gonna go face. Oh no, he's actually gonna go ahead and kill off the 3/3. Do you think it would have been better to apply more pressure, just attack face, or killing the 3/3 was fine?
Well, I think it's good value for him because that bubble's just gonna get popped, but he doesn't know that it's a Keeper of the Grove in Celedor's hand, and yep, he's gonna go ahead and use that. And that's gonna negate the Blessing of Kings. I think that's a very straightforward, good value with the Keeper of the Grove there.
Yep. Indeed, man. And he gets a 2/4 on the board already, so pretty sad there. Pretty sad face for MrOpium. He actually gets a quality there, and I don't think he wants the quality this. He's just gonna go ahead and throw down another dude and gonna play the Loot Hoarder and deal 1 damage to face, so really nothing else he can play here. He does have Turian Fortune in his hand already. In fact, that was the first card in hand. Not sure if he's going to be able to play that anytime soon though.
I don't know, man. I think for MrOpium is not exactly his day. You know, he first mulligan and then he got that early Tyrant that's not going to do much, and then subsequently in his Loot Hoarder card draw he got Ragnaros as well, so it's not exactly his day. And looking at the rest of his hand, it's not exactly quality cards as well, but now he's going to drop the equality to... I think he's thinking about dropping the equality to try to take down the beefy.
Well, do you think he should play the follow the rules onto the 4/6 and use weapon, kill it off with the Loot Hoarder as well, or no? It's just
I think
equality.
I think the equality plays is pretty decent because he doesn't need to use the Peacekeeper just of yet, because I think he knows that Celedor has bigger stuff up his sleeves, and looking at his hand size now, there's definitely a lot more coming his way. Sorry.
Yep. Unfortunately for him, though, MrOpium has the perfect answer for this trick. You can just kill it off with a weapon, or you could also just use his Argent Commander if he wants to, and still have a 4/2 minion on the board. You can also just hero power up, which is fine as well. But it seems like he's just gonna go ahead and use the True Silver Champion. Do you think he wants to? Okay, never mind. He's just gonna kill it off and play a dude. All right. Pretty decent.
Play the dudes, get the weapons, get the maximum value out of it. There's no rush for the Argent Commander, but it's gonna take some damage though. But I'm pretty sure MrOpium has some way to bring himself back in his health. He does have the Guardian of Kings to get some health back, and I think for MrOpium here, he is gonna go ahead and just show his late game capabilities. He does drop the Cane Bloodhoof, and I think that's a board stabilizer pretty much.
Yep. Now, do you think he should Ragnaros here? He's thinking about
YOLO Rag. We have seen that happen before.
Yeah. He does have a Elder Peacekeeper there if he wants to. Alternatively, he could just Blessing of Kings on the 4/5 and kill it off with the... Wait, can Blessing of Kings be targeted on enemy minions?
I believe so, yes. It gives a minion plus 4/4, but he's gonna go ahead, drop the YOLO Rack, and
is he gonna hit?
The RNG's go.
Oh,
it's gonna go for face.
Yeah. Again, that's the second YOLO Rack we saw that didn't quite hit the mark there, and that's gonna instantly be killed there. Celedor, man, getting huge value with the Big Game Hunter, and he's gotta be pretty sad right now, MrOpium, that is.
Yeah, it's definitely not his day, and Defender Argus gets dropped as well, and I think he's just gonna build a solid bot defense for himself. And at least for MrOpium here, what he could do is just use that last charge on the sword there. Well, actually, he's gonna use the Hammer of Wrath first to clear out the Big Game Hunter. Yeah, I was about to say you could use the weapon charge to get rid of the 5/3 and then summon Tyrion to put on the pressure, but I think he's reserving it for a later time. And he's gonna use the Peacekeeper now to actually drop Cairn Bloodhoof low.
Yeah, Cairn Bloodhoof, sorry, will actually die here if he uses that to attack, since there is that Noble Sacrifice secret. Unless, of course, he thinks about just using his hero power to kill in. He's thinking right now, do I want to run both minions into the 3-3 and make sure it dies? If he does that, Noble Sacrifice will be procced and Cairn Bloodhoof will return back as a 4-5, so that's still pretty decent for Celedor. Even though
yeah, it's definitely optimal play for him because I think he's pretty much suspected as much that it's gonna be a Noble Sacrifice, and so he gets the 4-5 back on the board.
Do you think he should have just rafted the 3-3 there just now, or just attacking into it was fine?
I think attacking it would be fine because you could still use the Wrath, keep it for something more important. And now that you have the 4-5 as well as the 4-6 on the board, there's pretty much nothing that MrOpium can do to stop it in one turn flat. So let's see what's the response from MrOpium. He's gonna go ahead and think about the card draw. He's gonna go ahead and drop the trick and actually pulls out a Ventricle Mercenary, which he is thinking to drop on the board just to get some pressure in. Yeah, what do you think of this play here, actually?
Yeah, I think
dropping a Ventricle.
It seems like it's probably his only play, I guess. I mean, he could actually. Wait, how much mana did he have there? He only had.
He had 5.
5, right?
After
so
the.
Yeah, so he couldn't actually play his other cards to much effectiveness. Oh, is he really gonna concede? No, okay. I was just wondering why he's opening up his menu. But yeah, I mean, 7-6 there on the board, that's a huge presence. Unfortunately, Celedor has ways to deal with that. He has double Wrath actually, so he can effectively get rid of that 7-6 and still have 2 very, very strong minions on the board.
I think double Wrath is actually a pretty good play.
He does have it in his hand, so whether or not he wants to use it is another question. He's thinking about going for phase. Huh.
I think he needs to deal with the 7-6. He can't leave it up on the board for too long.
Yeah.
Well, Celedor still. He can still drop the Pyromancer.
He's gonna Wrath it and draw a card. Interesting. Nope. Okay, he's canceling it. Still thinking. I mean, okay, killing off the 4-4, would you rather run your 4-5 in or would you run your 4-6 in instead?
I would actually run the 4-6 in just to get the Wall Pyromancer play. Because if you run the 4-5 in onto the 4-4 and then you drop the Pyromancer play, then you put yourself on the risk of actually killing your own minion, your own 4-1, which is a huge deal. You want to keep that damage on the board.
Right, for sure. But then again, if he has things like Consecrate, wouldn't that still kill off the 4-6?
Oh yeah, of course. Of course you gotta keep that into consideration, but
it's a pretty good play actually.
Yeah, so he's gonna go ahead and drop the 2 minions in. And yeah, he's gonna go ahead and use the Argus. I think this is some pretty decent play from Celedor here. And actually he's gonna go straight for the face, and I think that's good decision for him. And once again, I think the Argus play making full, maximum value here for Celedor.
Yeah.
Was he's forced to trade, and is there any way for him to come back to this one? I don't think so.
Oh, he can.
He can still drop the. Yeah, he still has the Tyrann.
Yep. He could alternatively Blessings the 4-2 and kill off the 5-5. So the thing is, he doesn't have anything to block himself from any damage. If he has if a swipe comes out. Wait, how many swipes has Celedor used already? He hasn't used any, right?
Yeah, I believe he hasn't used any of the swipe yet.
Yep, so if he had double swipe there, he would have been able to deal 8 damage on top of the 5 on the board already. So that was quite risky, actually. He's gonna lose his Arching Commander though, his buffed up Arching Commander, and now I believe, was that a heal or was that card draw? I couldn't see that.
It was a heal, I think. Do you think? Oh, yeah, he's gonna go ahead
Perfect.
I like this play here. I like this play. Yeah.
Unfortunately, he doesn't have enough mana to rebubble that. That would have been pretty good. But Celedor has the answer again. He has Claw.
Yeah, I have to say it's...
Oh, he can just
exactly
win.
that.
Can he just win now? No, he can't. No. How much damage is that? No, he can't win. What am I talking about?
3-6. No, it doesn't have it.
So, alternatively, he's just gonna go ahead and run into the 5-3, take 1 damage only, run the 2-3 to the face, and he's gonna go for Ancient of Lore for heal again. Oh no, for card draw. Okay, I thought that was a heal.
No, card draw actually.
Yeah.
And yeah, now he gets the swipe in, and actually that's lethal on the board. So that's gonna put some pressure, and I think it's time to put your faith in the light. Actually.
Indeed. Problem is, I think he knows that Celedor is running a Black Knight, so he probably is a little bit afraid of that. Because if he Black Knights his Tyrion, he still loses the game.
Well, you have to try to play around it, but I think at this point in time, it's the best play that he can have now. So he's gonna go ahead and drop Tyrion Forging in, and actually that creates some pressure for Celedor. Does have means and ways to play around it though, so I don't think that's a big issue for him.
Isn't that?
Does he have lethal on board?
That's lethal, isn't it? Lethal if he. Okay, wait. If he spell power swipes, he gets 5 damage to the face. He can only do 6 damage.
Close to lethal then, I think.
Yeah. He's gonna pop the shield, play the Pyromancer. Oh, he could. Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. He's gonna deal 6 damage to that, and then spell power the swipe will kill off. Yeah, I think he wins the game here. Kills it off with the Wild Pyromancer and 5 to the face. And there we go. That's the game-winning play right there. That's a pretty long game for the first series, for the first game here. This best out of 3. Pretty interesting. The Paladin deck actually, unfortunately, ran out of steam at the late stages of that game, and the Druid mid-range deck coming up from Celedor, still undefeated, man.
Yeah, his Druid deck is looking really strong in this one, and I think it's a bit of a push and pull factor as well. MrOpium had some pretty bad luck with some of his draws there. And yeah, Celedor looking really solid in this play and still has one more deck to go before he gets knocked down.
Yeah.
So what do you think actually he will... Yeah, I was about to ask you, what do you think he wants to pull off here to try to face up against Celedor? His Druid has been undefeated so far, knocked the Nyx out.
I definitely think he shouldn't play his Priest, because his Priest will probably have a really hard time. His Shaman probably has the better bet here against the Druid. I think going the Shaman is fine here for MrOpium, if he wants to be able to take a game at least against the Druid from Celedor there, because it's really... I mean, like, Celedor has just been steamrolling all his opponents so far. And I want to ask you though, that YOLO Rag play, do you think that was probably one of the biggest things that put him in the back foot in the previous game there?
Well, yeah, because if I recall correctly, he had some responses, some alternative responses, and the YOLO Rag was a little bit questionable to put it up against Celedor there. And of course for Celedor, he had a perfect answer. He had the big game hunter just lurking in his hand. So, and actually now we are going to see MrOpium. He's going to go ahead and put his Priest on the line here.
Okay, pretty interesting stuff. Priest versus Druid, and Priest actually has his Ragnaros already there. So that's pretty good.
I think MrOpium, he needs to pray for better luck now, because if you look at his hand, it's all there's nothing much that he can do in the first few turns actually.
Yeah.
So Celedor on his own end, actually he has some pretty decent cards up his sleeves. So, but overall I think it's gonna be a pretty slow game, because it will take some time for Celedor to actually ramp up. and for MrOpium as well. And at least he gets that Injured Blade Master.
I think if MrOpium's next thought here is to play the Injured Blade Master, but if he does, that's gonna instantly die to a Wrath from Celedor. So we're gonna have to wait and see whether that actually happens. Does he have a Circle of Healing? Wait, let me check.
Yeah, he does. Wait, does he? Oh, no.
No, he doesn't. So actually, a Circle of Healing is just a really good card with the Injured Blade Master, as made popular by Artosis. So would have liked to have seen that, but unfortunately there is no heal, so that's definitely gonna die to the Wrath here. I think without a doubt, probably is going to die. Do you think he should actually just innervate and maybe even put out the what do you call this? The Welcome Yeah, just to get some minion on the board, or just pass the turn. I mean, not innervate. You could just coin it.
Oh yeah, I could just coin it. Well, I think for Celedor, there's no rush for him. He knows that it's gonna take a while for MrOpium to try to ramp up, but he's gotta be careful though. There's the 4-drop from MrOpium's hand just waiting around the corner. So
he's thinking about trying Druid of the Claw down, which he by all means can with the double innervate here. I think he's thinking of it.
Actually, he could do that.
Alright, so here we go. Double innervate and Druid of the Claw into bear for him. That's gonna be a very tough minion that MrOpium has to deal with, and unfortunately he can't get rid of that because Shadow Word Pain and Shadow Word Death is unfortunately not gonna affect that 4/6, just in that sweet spot. And Thought Steal is actually gonna be used here by MrOpium. What is he gonna get? He gets a Chill Yeti and a Irving Farseer. Interesting.
Well, 4 is the magical number against the priest, so good play for Celedor there. And yeah, I thought that dedicating both the innervates to get the Druid the Claw down is a pretty risky move, but there's no way that MrOpium is gonna be able to deal with that as of now. Oh. And actually, Celedor is gonna drop the Big Game Hunter, so
do you think that was worth it?
It's a pretty surprising move, actually.
Yeah, because if he had like things like there we go, Big Game is not gonna be able to kill this off now. He could have actually got rid of that 7/7. So I think Celedor is probably pretty pissed about that. Hey, look at that, nature will rise against you, my friend. And unfortunately for him, he's gonna lose out on his bear. It will affect it. I mean, the light spot will effectively be down to. Oh, there could be a silence actually that will be used here.
I think the silence is gonna be.
Yeah. That's
maximum value play.
Well, at least he did have.
I think what Celedor is. Yeah, I think what Celedor was trying to do was get more damage onto the board because he knows that MrOpium is gonna take a while to ramp up, and if he can somewhat do like a rush down onto him, then he's gonna definitely put the pressure on. So, but I think it's a pretty greedy play though, that just dropping the Big Game Hunter into nothing.
Yeah, it definitely was. But it did kind of work out in the end there for him because he did have the backup from the Keeper of the Grove there, so not too much to worry about. He's gonna get in another 8 damage it seems. Can even hero power. Get that 9 damage, and look at that, MrOpium. Oh, he's actually gonna play his Drake. Oh, there's a top deck swipe there, so lethal already on the board, and MrOpium, I don't think he has a response to this.
Yeah, he has no way to deal with the Druid of the Claw here, so looks like the early double innervate plays worked out so well.
Oh wow!
Celedor. Oh wow! But he does get the Claw though.
Yep, that's perfect.
It's swipe.
Yep. Now he can effectively swipe kill the 4/4. But he can't get rid of the 4/2. So that's the biggest problem now.
And yeah, actually, what do you want to clear out? Do you want to clear out the taunt, or do you want to clear out the 4/4?
I don't know.
Because if you drop, yeah, because if you actually clear out the 4/4, you won't be able to use the Chewing Yeti to clear out the taunt, though. So
yeah,
I
exactly.
think he has to make a decision here.
If only at 1 more mana, he would definitely survive here.
Yeah, I think that's game here.
Yep. That is game. He knows he's lost this. So, that was a really quick second game though. That just went in an instant and let it be known. Priests The light is really burning Priest this time around. They just can't find any way back into this game. I feel pretty sad for her. For what do you call this? For Priest. Priest just
MrOpium.
So unfortunate, man. MrOpium,
And
man.
you know, for Celedor, he had some pretty solid decision making here. Usually the innovate into the Druid of the Claw would be a pretty questionable play, and the item being dropping the big game hunter into nothing, but it worked out so well for him. You know, he got that early damage in, and he just pretty much rushed down MrOpium before he could do anything to answer to that damage on the board. So I think Celedor here looking pretty solid in the series.
Definitely. I mean, and by the way, guys, let it be known that today marks the day that we have our first ever clean sheet. And guess what? It's Celedor representing the Philippines, and he's gonna get a clean sheet in this series here. 4 points, man. That is pretty good play. It seems like the tables have turned, definitely. This time around, Filipinos making the big plays here in cycle number 2. Singapore and still not really reaching that mark just yet, but guys, that's gonna do it for this series here. Group B, that is. Don't go anywhere though. Stay tuned because we do have Group C coming up next, and actually, I'm getting word that we will be actually getting a show match apparently, where Nyx will be facing MrOpium. Yeah. Anyways, guys, do stay tuned. We're gonna get a show match coming up, and let it be known that Celedor, he is definitely gonna be going through the playoffs here, as he does have 4 points already racked up. So guys, don't go anywhere. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.